Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Not Church, where we encourage people to think. Today, it just came upon me to discuss a particular subject with you guys, not afraid to change. I keep thinking about Matthew 17 in our Bible, when it discusses Jesus on the Mount of Transfiguration, or we call it the Mountain of Transfiguration, when Jesus transformed. Jesus was led down the mountain and was confronted with a person who had a serious element, a demon, if you will. And child was foaming at the mouth and so on and so forth. The dad brought the child to Jesus, and Jesus delivered the child on the spot. Later on in that chapter, Jesus was confronted with his disciples. Jesus's disciples asked Jesus, why couldn't we do the same thing you just did? Why can't we do that? And Jesus made a statement, something like, if you had faith the size of a grain of a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, be thou removed and cast into the sea. And then later in those scriptures, I think it goes into 18, when Jesus huddles around, calls the disciples, and he calls the little boy, and he told him to come to him. And essentially Jesus said, the one that is least among you is the one that's truly great. And I believe that what Jesus was trying to convey to the disciples is, you're running after all of this so-called faith. And, if you just have a little bit, if you just have, you can't even see it. It's so small. If you just know, if you just have a little bit, if it's invisible, you can't see it. If you just believe just a little bit, just enough to where you have something there, even though you can't see it with your naked eye, man, you can do anything. It doesn't require all that, Jesus would say. You're trying too hard. It baffles me, because many of us say, well, I want to be like Jesus, but are we really missing the mark? Because when Jesus was present, Jesus calls folk to want to kill him. Ain't nobody wanting to kill you. You ain't shaking nothing up. You ain't making people mad. You ain't making people think. You ain't making people hate you. So do we want to be like Jesus? Jesus' whole mission, his entire 33 years, was about getting you to God, the Father. Why is it that some of us seem to be missing that big mark? I mean, my God, it don't get much bigger than God, does it? We've gotten our focus in life seemingly because we are afraid to change. We want people to like us. We want to be in the like category. We say we want to be like Jesus, ideally, but we want people to accept us and like us, because really, we're afraid to not be liked. We're afraid to not be accepted. We're afraid that we're going to be wrong at the end of the day. We're afraid. We don't want to go to hell. We don't want to say anything different than my mama, my daddy, my brother, my sister, because Dad, I'm afraid to be alone. Well, my friend Jesus stood alone. Jesus cared about all that stuff. His main goal was that you and I knew who his Father was, God. Doesn't get any bigger than that. It doesn't get no better than that. When we get in touch with God, we will begin to understand, right? That it is okay to think. It's okay to reason. It's okay to use every member that God gave you to worship the God that birthed you and placed you on this planet. Yeah, for God we live. For God we die. Thank you for tuning in to this session of Not Church. And remember, like, comment, subscribe. And remember, it's okay to think. Until we meet again, we love you. Peace. Everybody won't be on top, yeah. Whether the roof or the mountaintop, right.